Well, hello, kids. I'm going to say hello to Winnie and Cleo, James, and, oh, how about Baxter? Roman and Sterling. How's everybody doing today? Well, today we're going to hear a story about a tiny whale. But first, we're going to look at some words. Like, was, me, M-E, she, S-H-E, R, like a pirate goes R, A-R-E, and, A-N-D, itch, I-T, I, you, mom, yes, Y-E-S, is, I-S, dog, D-O-G, he, H-E, were. We were reading a story yesterday. The story, T-H-E. There is a dad in this story, D-A-D. No dogs in this story, though. And nut, N-O-T. All right. Those are some of the words that you guys know. So here is our story, The Tiny Whale, A Fishy Tale by Joshua George. The Tiny Whale, Fishy Tale. Okay. Gerald had so many brothers and sisters and cousins that he felt quite unimportant. His dad, D-A-D, Dad, hardly ever took him to play in the seaweed forest. His mom, M-O-M, hardly ever read him stories. Even his best friend Gordon didn't remember his name. So here's Gordon. Gordon, he says, oh, I'm sorry, that's Gerald. Gerald says, hi, Gordon. And Gordon says, hi, Gavin. What? That's Gerald, and that's Gavin. I don't see a difference, but Gerald says, unbelievable, thought Gerald. I look completely different than Gavin. I don't think so. Gerald was tired of being a small orange fish on a reef full of other small orange fish. So, one day, Gerald decided to set off on an adventure. Goodbye, Mom. Oh, goodbye, Gareth. She didn't even know his name. Ridiculous, thought Gerald. I look completely different from Gareth. So here's their school picture. Here's Gareth, and there's Gerald. Do you think they look completely different? I don't think so. After a long, tiring, and scary swim, look at this, an eel he has to fight off. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. It looks kind of scary. An octopus and a whale. Boy, that was a pretty scary swim he went on. Gerald finally found himself at another reef. He was glad to be somewhere safe. The reef looked a lot like the one at home, but the fish were blue, not orange. As Gerald rested, he watched a group of fish playing hide and seek. Oh, look at they're hiding in the bushes. Hey, one of the bluefish shouted. I'm Charlie. These are my friends Chuck, Chip, Chad, Chet. What sort of fish are you? Gerald paused for a second and said, I'm not a fish, he said. I'm a whale. Well, the bluefish seemed very impressed. Yep, I'm a whale, said Gerald, and I just swam across the whole ocean. Oh, that's awesome. Ooh, wow. Tell us more. Well, sometimes I swim down to the bottom of the ocean and catch enormous squid, he boasted. And I'm not even scared of sharks. This sounds like a fishy story to me. Hey everyone, come and meet the tiny whale. I thought whales were bigger. Gerald stayed with the bluefish all day, enjoying the attention and telling tall tales until it was time for him to go home. The next day, Gerald returned, and soon there was a big crowd of bluefish listening to his stories. Hey guys, it's Tiny Whale. Is it true you once jumped over a ship? How big is your mom? Gerald stayed for dinner, which was pretty much like dinner at home, but bluer. All the fish gathered in a cozy cave with a small entrance at the top. Gerald was introduced to the oldest and the wisest fish of all. He wore a red bandana and an eye patch, and he squinted and blinked as he listened to Gerald's story. Gerald didn't like the suspicious look in his eye. It seemed like it would be a good time to go home. But it wasn't long before Gerald decided to visit his new friends again. However, this time, when he arrived at the Bluefish Reef, it was quiet and empty. Where is everybody? Gerald thought he heard a noise. Then he saw it. A huge boulder sat right on top of the entrance to the Bluefish Cave. Big boulder. An eye appeared in a crack at the bottom of the boulder. It was one of the bluefish. Hey, Tiny Whale, he said, is that you? We're all trapped beneath this boulder. Thank goodness you're here. Can you move it? We're so lucky we made friends with a whale. Yep, said Gerald. Lucky I'm a whale. This should be easy. Gerald strained and pushed until his muscles shook, but the boulder didn't move. Gerald pushed and strained until his flippers went floppy, but still the boulder didn't move. Wait there, he shouted down the crack. I'll be right back. Gerald swam faster than he'd ever swum before, and soon he was back home. Stop, everybody, he yelled. Listen. Nobody stopped. Listen, he shouted, but no one listened. So Gerald picked up a shell. Listen, he trumpeted. Everybody listened. Hey, it's Godfrey. No, it's not, it's Gerald. I really need everybody's help, said Gerald. Quick, follow me. The entire school of orange fish sped across the seabed with Gerald leading the way. None of the creatures of the sea had ever seen anything like this before. We need to move this boulder. There are fish trapped beneath it, said Gerald. Ready? He called. Now! Look at how all those fish came to help. The fish pushed and pushed. The boulder moved a tiny bit, then a little bit more, and then, with a sea-shuddering crash, it rolled away from the cave. Out of the cave streamed hundreds of cheering blue fish. We're free! Yippee! Woohoo! Wow, there's a lot of fish. The oldest and the wisest bluefish came swimming slowly towards Gerald. Thank you, tiny whale, he said, and he gave Gerald his bandana. But how did you recognize me? Asked Gerald. Hooray, hip hip hooray. Well, because you're the only whale, said the old fish, as he blinked, or maybe he winked. It was difficult to tell. Everybody cheered. Gerald couldn't believe it. Finally, everybody knew who he was. Yay! Gerald wanted everybody to know who he was. In fact, there's even a book about him. That's the book we're reading. Can you spot Gerald? Oh boy, let's take a look at all of these fish. Which one do you think might be Gerald? Kind of all look alike. My guess is this one. Well, when the little orange fish with a very big family feels ignored, he started to look for attention elsewhere. That's what will happen in this story. And the funny story is about bravery, friendship, very tall tales. He really wasn't a whale. What a silly Toy Story. This funny story about bravery, friendship, and very tall tales shows that sometimes even the littlest of fish can make a big difference. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope you enjoyed this story about Gerald. And I love all of you, and I will see you soon. But I have to go because my washing machine is calling me. So I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.